Hi guys, and welcome back to Down on the Farm. Today we're looking at the farm system of the team that was once a final Jeopardy question about what big league team name forms a double redundancy. Who are the Los Angeles Angels? Off to Low Way we go, 45 minutes east of Los Angeles with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. The Angels actually took over this team from the LA Dodgers in the winter of 2025, and they largely left the visuals the same, simply color flipping from Dodger blue to Angels red. On field, the biggest difference is probably their secondary jersey, which went from a blue Dodger script jersey to a really fun red retro halo look. The team name has a local connection that's both simple and obvious to a fault, the San Andreas fault that is. The Quakes really balance big league affiliation with local connection in a way that I think is really fun. Overall, I think this team is a winner, but now it's time to head up to high and my neck of the woods with the Tri-City Dust Devils. Despite being technically independent, the cities of Pasco, Richland, and Kennewick, Washington all realistically function as one interconnected metro. And full disclosure, despite living an hour away in Yakima, I work in the Tri-Cities 5 days a week as a delivery driver, so I consider the Dust Devils to be my hometown team, so I might be grading them on a bit of a curve. But even with my biases, I love the team name and the colors because they're what I see on a daily basis. Eastern Washington is just this large desert that gets interrupted by rivers, so I see that navy every day as I crisscross the Columbia River, and I see that tan on all the hills outside of town and frankly the city parks in town. And those river valleys bring wind rushing through, making Dust Devils a daily sight for me during the summer. But it's that tan that I love more than anything. Some places might have hills of gold, but my hills are made out of dirt and dried grass that's waiting to catch fire. But even I'm not oblivious to this team's faults. Dusty, the primary logo, is just meh. Their secondary TC logo is just obviously modern trend chasing, and their jerseys, outside of this beautiful navy and pinstripe jersey that I'm wearing as a sign of my impartiality, they're uninspired at best, but they're my podunk team from my podunk place, and I love them regardless. So they're an A for me, but I don't blame you if you give them a C or D. Now it's time to jet off to AA with the Rocket City Trash Pandas out of Huntsville, Alabama. The Rocket City part of the team name refers to NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, a place that YouTubers Mark Rober and Destin from Smarter Everyday have both worked at. And Trash Pandas is a fun nickname for raccoons that originated on Reddit. And this team is the most successfully branded team in the history of minor league baseball. Before they had even played a game, the Trash Pandas sold over $2 million worth of merchandise, including $50 to yours truly. Even now in the summer of 2026, 6 years after the fact, they still have the 2 best-selling hats and the best-selling t-shirt on minor league baseball's official sites. And no, it's not like their attendance numbers are suffering either. They're amongst the best teams in AA for attendance. I think my biggest issue with the team is that I think the team name is doing all the heavy lifting. Because if we're being honest, that primary logo is downright clunky. And ironically, the one thing that I do love about the team, their jerseys with that really fun handwriting font across the chest, doesn't really factor into minor league merchandising. I can't help but shake the feeling that this is more America's team than Huntsville's team, and that's a concern that's been voiced by both local fans and local writers in Alabama. I think the Trash Pandas pose this really big question about what really constitutes successful minor league branding. Is it just about dollars and cents and merchandise sales, or is it about that strong local connection that team could only exist in that place? I think, if anything, I'm just too close to it. To be honest with you guys, I donated my Trash Pandas shirt a couple of years ago, but if the numbers tell me anything, it's that somebody bought that shirt 2 days later and they're still wearing it today. But now it's time to buzz on down to Salt Lake City with the Salt Lake Bees. Now, Utah is the Beehive State, and they do have a beehive on their brand new state flag unveiled in 2022, so it might be natural to assume the team has always gone by the Bees, but that's not quite the case. They went by the Buzz in the late 90s and the Stingers in the early 2000s, both of which have logos that pretty quickly date themselves, before settling onto their Bees identity in 2006. The change brought with it brand new uniforms that feature the kind of clean script writing that I beg for at the AAA level, and colors that are kind of self-explanatory. The Salt Lake Bees went with a fun retro look and a strong local connection, the kind of thing that I beg for in minor league baseball. But I really can't picture anybody outside of Salt Lake City buying Bees merch, or anybody that's into apiculture for that measure. Even their fun alternate identity of the Dirty Sodas. Unless you're Zach for Roll From Soda, or a member of the LDS Church, or don't have functioning taste buds, I can't really picture you buying the merchandise either. Personally though, I'd rather be the Bees than the Trash Pandas, but if you would prefer a fun team name that sells millions of dollars worth of merchandise, me or my wallet can't really blame you. That's all I have for today. Until next time, I'll see you guys around.